You're checking out Weekend at Gabe's with Weekend Gabe and the real Sam Crane to my right, on your right, if you're wherever you're watching us on Periscope, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're catching us at. We appreciate you checking in with us. Our next guest needs no introduction because he is everywhere online. He is one of the originators who dominated Vine. And if you're one of those people who are like, what's a Vine? Well, guess what? You're in luck. We're going to talk to the guy who actually was one of the biggest stars of the Vine era. How you doing? Karl from Online joins us on Weekend at Gabe's. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you? How are you?
You said you were folding your laundry to me. In case you didn't know, right? Wait, hang on. Where's my finger? That little bag is filled with clothes. Whenever you look over, you can handle that for me. I appreciate it.
I will. You know, actually, I used to work at the Gap for about 4 years, so I'm an expert at folding laundry. I can do it very quickly. They would yell at us if we didn't do it quickly enough.
I'm one of those people. I always feel bad for people who work in retail because, like, you know, there's a certain way that it's folded, different than way you fold your clothes at home. And so whenever you like open up a shirt or jeans or whatever, and you try to fold it back your way and put it back on the pile, and yours looks like a piece of shit, and the other ones are pristine and like very, you know, logistically looks great, but your fold is shit. So I just
absolutely. Feel bad. You should feel bad. It's fine.
I want to talk about.
Like, at this point, it's muscle memory. It's like fold jeans this way, fold shirts this way. I mean, what I will say is the baby clothes, worst. The worst.
Oh yeah,
that's the worst one.
Folding baby clothes.
Oh, it's the fucking worst. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. That the drawer that's right there behind the bookshelf, that's all baby clothes in there, and I dread doing the laundry and having to fold that shit. It's awful.
It's horrible.
I told someone I wrote this out last month, I think it was. I was like, if you don't like folding clothes, especially a lot of clothes, because babies go through a lot of clothes, don't have children. That was my sell on don't having children. If you don't like doing laundry or folding clothes, don't have children because you're gonna do a lot of it.
If I ever have a child, I will never buy clothes.
just like reusable garbage bags.
Anything. Wrap it up, and swaddle it in cloth. Grow out of it. Who cares?
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We want to get into. You have. I don't know if you realize this, but you have hours of content of these short, sometimes 30, 15-second videos, but you have hours of this content flowing on the internet from almost a decade ago. So you've been doing videos for a long time, and really, I would say that you're one of the originators of what we see today. Normally on TikTok, you've been doing it for that long. How do you stay I would say motivated, but like when does like a great idea approach you and you're like, oh, I can make a video out of this?
That's a hard question to answer. I guess it's really there is no moment. It's just, I don't know. I see something or I think of something and then I'm like, oh, I'll just do that. There is nothing. There's no plan.
Your t-shirt is an example of that exact process, right?
What?
Your t-shirt, it's an example of that exact process.
Oh yeah, actually, I made this shirt because I felt like it a while ago and kind of forgot about it. And a couple of weeks later, it got mailed to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's funny." And a bunch of people are like, "Where did you buy that shirt from?" And I was like, "I don't know. I just fucking made one of them, and I sent it to myself. I don't know."
Somebody tried to bootleg it online, didn't they?
So yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, I bought it here," and they made a fake website, which always happens, which I don't care about. But you know,
talk about the beginnings of your journey. So like your Twitter account is obviously massive. I've seen, I mean, because we know each other, I've seen pretty much most of it. I would say a good 85% of things. You tweeted maybe a few months back about just like how it all started. It was like a retreat or something, and somebody was like, "Oh, you should just make a Twitter."
Yeah, it was a while ago, 2010, 2011, I think. And I was on a 2-week backpacking trip, and I wouldn't shut the fuck up. And somebody was like, "Hey, you should make a Twitter account." And I was like, maybe. I made one when I got back. I think it was my 18th birthday, like right before is when I made my Twitter account. And I don't know, I just kind of was doing whatever. And I was doing that for a while, and I don't know, it's just anything that comes to the head goes into the phone. And then it's sent out to the world. I don't care who looks at it. I don't care who reads it. Doesn't matter. It's like a place to put things. And I guess some people looked into it. A little too much. A little too much, maybe.
A little too much. Word.
What?
Go ahead, Gabe.
What was the transition from? Oh no, hang on. Before we get to that, what was? I was watching some of your old clips, and one of them was George Lopez blocked you. Why did George Lopez block you?
Oh, okay. Well, that's fun. I had an ongoing erotic fan fiction that I was writing on Twitter, and it was George Lopez and Tim Allen. You can find it if you just search George Lopez, Tim Allen erotic fan fiction on Twitter. It lasted a very long time. Honestly, it's pretty rough. But both of them blocked me. I think it's 2014 is when George Lopez blocked me. So it's been a while. Tim Allen unblocked me at some point. I don't know why. Maybe he change of heart. I don't know.
He decided to let bygones be bygones.
Yeah. But it's rough. It's some rough stuff. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that much. But it's raw, unfiltered, pure emotion.
Word.
Well, there you go.
Do you deal with? I mean, people don't see that, but do you deal with a lot of the hate that people are talking about, especially now?
I don't really get too much hate anymore. A while
Anymore.
on Vine, it was much more. A lot of hate.
Word.
Which was, I mean, that's what comes with everything, which is fine. If you're on the internet, somebody's going to be like, you piece of shit. Yeah, you know, like, it's going to happen. But, yeah, no, I don't know. It's never been a problem for me. People have said mean shit to me my whole life. Doesn't matter. It's someone over the computer that's completely, it's, you know, you're in Oklahoma. I don't care.
One of the funnier things that Twitter is like the devil's playground. Anything and everything will happen. And this woman, this was about 2 months ago, right after the July 6th riot, January 6th, excuse me. And she was getting on. This woman I never met. She just started like hounding me about, you know, politics or whatever. And then she said something to the effect of like, threatening, like, no, we'll make sure that you're like, we'll get you or something like that. And then I just like tagged, like I responded, but I tagged the FBI. I'm like, I'm feeling threatened by my life right now. Can you please, you know, look into this? And then the woman blocked me, and it's like right away. It's like it's when people talk shit and like you just like respond back. It can be funny or it could just be really mean spirited. But I try to have fun with it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've never taken it completely to heart. If somebody was like, I know your address, that's, you know,
that's next.
But anybody else, I'm like, haha, who cares? Somebody being mean, that's fine.
What was the transition from when Vine closed and obviously TikTok became the 2.0? What was that, as a person who grew through the Vine experience? Did that affect the way you made your work and your content, or what did it just kind of change the way or your behaviors of how you recorded?
To be honest, I don't know. Towards the end of Vine, it didn't really. I don't know. I started doing this stuff for fun to begin with, and when Vine started fizzling out, I guess is what you would say. whatever. I still kept having fun with it, and it ended, and that was that. And I was on Twitter before Vine, so I was like, whatever. I'll post whatever I want on Twitter. It doesn't matter. And TikTok came around, and it was kind of like, I could keep doing stuff, but like, also, I don't know. This is years later, and it's like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I make videos and stuff, but like establishing a following or anything like that on a video platform is not. I don't know.
It was never why you did it. Yeah.
But at this point, I got other shit.
Talk about the other shit that you do, because you just said the thing about the Gap, which I didn't know, but it seems like you've had almost like every job under the sun. Like, I feel like I saw you working at Uncommon Ground. You're at some organic garden in Oregon now. Yeah, man. Talk about your career, dude. Hey, what are you doing?
I have done pretty much every job. I mean, ever since I started being able to work, I started working. I did. Let's see. We'll go timeline wise. Newspaper boy, farmer's market, until that was like 9 years. Like 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday, farmer's market job.
The donuts were smacking, though. The donuts were smacking.
Oh, the donuts were smacking. And, man, I know so much about apples because of that job. I know everything you could ask me about apples. Well, there's some new apples that have come out since then, but which is nuts. Like, new apples just dropped. But it's true. It's shit. But yeah, that job, I worked at the Gap. I designed sets and props for a theater company for years. I managed a Christmas tree farm and sold the trees in Chicago as well. The farm was in Wisconsin, but I would go up there and tend to the trees. Fucking cut down thousands of trees every year.
That was one of the more interesting moments, I thought.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
10 years I worked for this guy, who owns this farm, and like he's like a friend to me at this point, even though he's my boss. But that I was a waiter, dishwasher, busboy, barista. I've done anything in this service industry, line cook, anything like that. And now I'm working at a plant nursery. So I know a bunch about plants. I'm growing a bunch of fucking vegetables, and I got a lemon tree going. I went to school to be an electrician also. That's my goal right now, is to get my license, but it's been hard with COVID and everything. And right. To get into the union, it's a rough deal. But I mean, it's not a problem though, because I can find a job literally doing anything. Woodworking. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, it seems like like you're an everyman, but like, can we expect a foray into like Hollywood for you, man, at some point? Like,
probably not.
It does sort of feel like you're destined here to go the route of Stuart Little before you.
If someone hires me, for sure, but I'm not looking out for it.
Word.
Honestly, I will say I'm having a great time walking in the woods, selling plants to people. Sometimes that's what you're looking for.
Why Oregon out of all places?
So here's the thing: is Chicago will forever be my home. I love Chicago. I will die in Chicago. Absolutely.
Well, that's good.
But I grew up there. I never lived anywhere else. I didn't go to college outside of the city. And I don't know, I turned 26. I had a little healthcare scare situation. Which turned out to be fine. But I was like, you know what? I should live somewhere else. At least one other place. I'd love to live in Europe for a year or two. But I want to go bop around about and eventually find my way back to Chicago. But I will say this. I moved here in the winter where it rains constantly, but it's so beautiful. And now it's not raining anymore, and all the flowers are blooming, and it is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life, I gotta say.
Wow. Wow, that's a glowing review of Oregon. I gotta say, I've done the drive-through. I hit a couple national parks, and I gotta agree, Oregon is a beautiful place.
It is.
With lots of flowing water.
Oh, fantastic place. It's got its problems for sure, but I mean, wow. When spring has sprung, can't get enough of it.
But before we let you go, Karl, I have one last question for tonight.
Sure.
What makes a great Vine, a great TikTok? Like, what are all the elements?
Yeah, give us like Karl's 3 rules, like for the internet.
What does it need to have? What angles? What performance? I'm pretty sure since you've done hours of this stuff that you kind of already have in your mind, like a great director and performer. You've already foreseen what you need to do ahead of time. But what makes a great performance on these videos?
Here's what I will say. You have to turn your brain off, I'd say. And what makes it good is the person who's doing it, they're not trying. It's completely genuine. And it's right off of the top. If you plan it out and you script it out and you're doing some sort of skit, I would say 20, maybe 15% of the time it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But like a genuine thing that is just like right then, and you film it and you're like, this is hilarious. That is what's gold.
There you go.
Planning that shit out, trash.
Word.
Not all the time. Sometimes
15% of the time you get away. But I think that's like the batting average of SNL right now. It's like 15% of skits are really, really good. And
right. It just has to be like a genuine, like, oh my gosh, this shit is funny. Like,
do you sit around laughing to your own jokes? Like, do you get enjoyment? Like, because you seem very passive, but like, is this fun for you still?
There's so many instances that I could tell you where it's just like I say something and I crack myself up just because I'm like, I think that's funny, and maybe one other person thinks that's funny who I'm with, but I don't care. That's funny to me. If it makes me laugh, then I'll post it.
Word.
Never look to please anybody is what I'm saying.
Word.
Look to please yourself and make yourself laugh, and that is the greatest content.
Those are the moments I have at dinner with my wife and my kid, well, the oldest, and I'll say something I think is fucking hilarious, and they just like stare at me deadpan because they just don't get it. But I'm like, I don't care. It's like it made me feel good. Mission accomplished.
Exactly. You never care about what anybody thinks. If you think it's funny, it's funny.
Word.
Well, Karl, I appreciate you joining us here on Weekend at Gabe's. Good luck with the tree cutting and the planning, the plannery, and all that good stuff. And keep pumping out content.
Plug the t-shirts and show us the mullet one time.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm growing my mullet out. It's not, I got to work on it. But also, I make t-shirts. Mambiopia is the @ on Threadless. It's all anti-government, eat the rich type shit. My uncle actually designed all of them. And originally I made the page so he could make some profits to help him fix his boat that he lives on. So yeah, look it up. And thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Follow
Karl at Hammerfist3. All right. For the rest of the evening, we'll talk to you soon.
A shout out Frau Ewald.
Shout out Frau Ewald.
There you go. All right. That's going to be our show tonight. Sam, a great show. We learned a lot tonight.
Yeah, dude, we got a lot packed in. The first time I ran into Karl was in high school German class, and I used to cheat off Karl's test. So it is fun to come a long way and see him living his life and enjoying life and making himself laugh, dude. That's beautiful.
He wrote something, I think it's in German, but in our private chat, and I have no idea what it says because I can't read it.
I believe that was French. I was going to say that to Karl. He said about living in Europe. I don't think he should go the Germany route. I think he should go. Paris is calling. The mullet belongs in Paris.
Yep. Let's preview next week. We're going to have jazz musician Jeff Bradshaw, who is a monster in the music industry and who I'm happy to have on. He put a bunch of records out on the Hidden Beach label during the early aughts, and I think he's up to something new. So we're gonna talk with him on Tuesday. And do we have anyone else scheduled right now?
Yeah, we got Heavy Crowns, who is running Trap House Chicago on the South Side. And that is very cool. But he's just fresh off the back of his Red Summer tour. And he did that all during the pandemic, went to every city, felt like in the country, and just sat on the street corner freestyling, meeting people, growing the following, spreading the love. And just one of the most positive dudes that I think I've ever met in this game in Chicago, period. And he's got some teaching connects, Gabe, so I think y'all will get along.
I'm not a teacher.
I know you're not a teacher, but you're an administrator, man. You work in schools. You have kids, man. Heavy Crowns is an inspiration. Either way, it's going to be a huge show on Tuesday. I love jazz music, so I am excited.
All right, sounds good. So big show on Tuesday, right back here at 8 o'clock on Weekend at Gabe's Weekend Gabe. Give us a follow on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Enjoy your Friday and your weekend. It's supposed to be raining, so bring an umbrella.
Yeah, I'm going thrifting, man. It's going to be a good one.
Fantastic. Let me know if you find any vinyl.
I will.
All right. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. We're out.
Peace.